The 16th of April 2013 was our date of departure for the French tour, St. Mary's, Waverley, and 14 excited young girls boarded that aeroplane and headed for 2 weeks of bliss. They were armed with mini iPad minis that had been very generously given to them to use by the school, and the school had insured them, and these were to prove to be the highlight, or shall I say one of the highlights, of the French tour 2013. Owing to the fact that they had the iPad minis, the girls were able to communicate by Skype with their parents every night and with their friends back in South Africa. On arrival in Paris the next day, out came the iPad minis. Some photographs were taken with them, but we soon discovered that indoor photographs were not good, simply because there was no flash. So the girls resorted to their own cameras and their own phones to take photographs, but when it was bright enough, they used the iPad mini to take photographs. Still the first day in Paris, first afternoon, we visited Montmartre, and we had supper in the restaurant, as you will see in the following picture. Please note the iPad in the following picture. You will see Susie is holding her iPad. They were checking to see if there was free Wi-Fi. They were taking pictures. The iPad mini just never left their side. In the Louvre, group shot, all the girls on tour. They had to listen very carefully to the guides. Every day there was a quiz, there were prizes. I tried not to burden them, but it was important that they paid attention to what the guides were saying. And I must say, the prizes that were offered every day for the girl who had listened most attentively were snapped up eagerly by the girls. They loved their quizzes. I did most of the quizzes on Socrative. There were, however, Nearpod quizzes embedded in their Nearpod presentations as well. Another photo at the Louvre. A Versailles group shot. Again, the girls listened very carefully to all the details. They had audio guides, and I based the quizzes at the end of the day on what they had heard and what I know they had been told. At the end of a wonderful day at Euro Disney, the girls were exhausted. We did not do a quiz that day, and as we headed out, that was our last day in Paris, as we headed out to Normandy and the coast, we had a lot more time on the bus, and the girls were able to relax, listen to their music, and the iPads came out in the evenings at the hotels when we did our quizzes and our presentations on Nearpod. I have omitted to tell you that each girl had prepared a PowerPoint presentation, which I had converted to a PDF file so that I could, in those days, Nearpod wouldn't allow anything but a PDF file to be uploaded, and each girl had done her presentation on a particular day on the tour, and I was able to build Nearpod presentations using those PDFs, which had been emailed to each girl, so they had all the PDFs on their iPad minis. I was able to send any information from Johannesburg before we'd even boarded the plane. For example, I loaded each iPad mini with the price list of the Bertillon ice cream shop on the Ile Saint-Louis. And when we went to buy the ice creams on the second or third day in Paris, the girls had all the flavors on their iPad minis, and they could just consult them and choose ahead of time. The beautiful Mont Saint-Michel, and again the iPad mini was perfect to take these outdoor shots in the bright sunlight. In this photo you will see the girls are ready to board the plane to come home at Charles de Gaulle on the 29th of April. You can see the iPad mini in their hands. They were doing a Socrative quiz based on each girl on the tour. It had been set up by a group of girls, and that Socrative quiz was mine. I had to fill that in. They were testing me to see how well I had got to know the girls and whether I knew their nicknames and their foibles and their idiosyncrasies. And then, of course, they all wanted to do the quiz about themselves. And in the next few photos, you will see the girls still at Charles de Gaulle with their iPads and doing the quiz while they waited to board. Again, the ubiquitous iPad mini. Here you see the girls huddled around the iPad mini doing the quiz, the Socrative quiz that had been my test. They felt that they had done enough and they needed to create one for me. It was great fun.